Trifecta, if they win, they force us into tiebreakers. Where do you think we're going to see these priority picks, Toli?
I think that Trifecta are going to try to get Sinashore in a comfortable spot, maybe get him the Naja this time around. That's something that Space Station did not allow Sinashore and Trifecta to do. And Elevate probably going to be leaning towards, the Artio, the Cabrakan as for their first 2 picks.
Yeah, I think I was harping on this all day yesterday, but if Elevate wins the coin toss and they get that first pick side, they get one of those 3 Guardians guaranteed. They're now on second pick side. This has been the side they've struggled on all week. Trifecta is in a great spot here because now they have the option to kind of ban away those hunters for free, first pick a high pressure god for themselves, and maybe deny Elevate a little bit of that front line.
That's what Trifecta will have here. And I was going to ask you, do you think they should go with trying to limit Elevate or just play their own game? And right out of the bat, it looks like ban away Cabrakan. We don't want to see Thierio on it.
Yeah, a little bit of both because, like we mentioned with Kiki, they have similar god pools in solo. So, for example, a pick like Xing 10, most teams not really prioritizing it that much. Here, because both teams play, it's going to elevate in the draft. I didn't mean that pun. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, that was great. That was great.
I really didn't mean that. But yeah, it's going to be picked higher up in the draft because both teams want it. So same with the Hunter picks, right? Snoopy had been playing Hoi AMC. That's what Death Panther is playing. That's what Jermaine would play as well. So all these picks are going to be way more contested.
We did see Elevate go ahead and ban out Hurwind along with the Naja, so that was something you pointed out early here. Take away Hurwind, or that Morgan pick away from Hurwind, and then Trifecta takes the Hu Yi here, Toli.
It's just very obvious of both of these teams' game plans, and look how fast they're going through picks and bans.
Yeah,
their
hesitating
strategies,
at all.
No hesitation. They know what they want.
Wow.
Odin already to respond to this Artio, Athena, Zeus to pair up inside the cage.
Are we like speed racing this? What is going on? Holy.
Well, Polar Bear Mike, I think you kind of touched on it earlier. Trifecta knew the whole day that if they were going to make it, they needed to beat Elevate down here at the end. This is a matchup they knew that they were going to have to win. So it looks like they knew what they wanted with this Odin Zeus
Yeah, I mean, we
combo.
didn't even have time to break it down, but I love what they've done. They've taken away the Cabrakan. They still have Xing 10 up, but they knew that Elevate has been prioritizing the Artio if they can get it.
Right.
They gave them the 2 Guardians that have been banned away from them for most of the week, and they can't get out of the Odin cage, and they have a Hoi and Zeus with the cage, Toli.
Elevate need a Hunter here because they're going to risk getting too many Hunters banned out. They need Ram here for Jermaine and then maybe something else for Death Panther. I wouldn't lean on the Honor, but, after I was talking in the background, but Medusa could be another viable option.
To me, what would make sense is I think you just pick the Rama here, and it's a little risky because you can't roll out of the cage, but I feel like you can buy so much time with your ultimate.
Sure.
He is in a bad spot now, though, because like you said, the Anhur didn't perform that well, but now they really have to worry about this Odin. I think Trifecta actually maybe has them exactly where they wanted them. This is a great draft by Trifecta so far.
And this Odin pick necessarily is not dictated for Kiki Sochiki.
Yeah, I was about to ask who you think that's going to be on.
Where could easily see that in the jungle if they want to lean more towards Harrowin, try to get some really good jungle encounters. Uller will be that Hunter selection. We don't necessarily know who it'll go for, but probably Jermaine if Trifecta ban out the Ram.
And I feel like Trifecta forced this Uller pick here with that Odin. They had to try and prioritize someone who might have an easier time getting out of that one. Elevate, though, they go ahead and ban out Hell, but that leaves Trifecta free to ban away the ROM.
Yeah, and I actually forgot about the Uller here, and something that's even better for Trifecta is because their comp is so good in the mid game when they get to like 10 to 15 minutes, that's where their comp really excels, and Uller, that's where he shines as well. So if they can get past that stage, if Trifecta gets past that stage, and the Uller starts to fall off a little bit, they'll be in a great spot.
I think Trifecta really need Geb here to prevent some of these dash taunts from
like
Cherio. So I think Elevate ban it here, or maybe pick it themselves.
I got a question here for you, Toli. We've seen this Athena banned all week long, but I don't think Cherio's actually gotten to play it just yet. If he has, it hasn't been very much. You think he's ready to bring this out and take it to that maximum level?
Absolutely. This is not a goddess that needs much practice, honestly.
Yeah, and I was going to say, the bans I would like to see, I would have preferred the Geb out of Elevate, but I'd ban Nox right here. You have the Athena set up for it. Dardez is insane at it. I know he can't get out of the cage, but he can just ult onto the Zeus and reduce that damage that he's doing inside the cage.
Or just completely dissect the teamfight in two with that silence. It just creates so much space control. Nobody wants to go in there, get silence, and just take all that damage.
Do you ever think this Odin ever goes on to Aurora? Like, do you think that's why they banned the Ymir?
I think absolutely Aurora has been known to play these warrior supports, right? So Aurora can create, kind of go for a fast one here. Go for that blink, level 1, create the havoc, allow Sinashore to still get off maybe a very hyper-aggressive jungler.
And it would make sense for it not to be on Kiki because the two gods they want to set up with that Odin ring are the Hoi and the Zeus. They're going to be in the duo lane and the mid lane. So Kiki's not really going to be involved in those fights early. It would make sense for it to be on Sinashore or for it to be on Aurora.
Nox is banned away, so Dardes won't have that available. Instead, Elevate select Fafnir, a pick that did work for them earlier on that first day. They were able to get some success with it, but it's kind of feeling like Trifecta have figured this pick ban phase out.
So far, so good for them, honestly, because every sort of pick and ban here between these two teams have been shown in the previous games in Super Regionals.
I mean, how crazy is it? Like, Elevate has ran basically the same strategy, a few different variations of it, but even when we like Trifecta's bans a lot and we're like, oh, Rama ban makes sense, Nox ban makes sense, they still have an insane comp. I mean, Fafnir amplifying all of his team's damage. They have so much CC, they have so much damage. It's actually crazy. And the global pressure from Athena, we haven't seen it all week, like you were saying.
Yeah, not at all. But also, keep in mind, Soul Chronos is still open. It's not something Elevate have run, but in a more traditional style with a Fafnir, considering you already have Ullr, wouldn't be a bad idea to run one of those Magical Hunters either.
A Magical Hunter could do well for him as Trifecta continues to think a little bit here more. This is a bit of a shift. They really knew what they wanted in that first phase of these pick bans, but now here with these last two, they're giving it a little more thought, and the Xing Chen still available. They go ahead and pick that one up along with Kumbhakarna.
It's happened.
That is crazy. The Xingtian makes sense. It moves the Odin over to jungle, especially with the Kumba locked in. Aurora actually is really good at Kumba. He hasn't played it in forever. He got buffed before this tournament. It hasn't been picked at all, I don't believe. So that's a really interesting pocket pick for Aurora to pull out.
I think the whole idea here is just to completely disrupt the RDO, just get her out of the team fight, maybe try to look to blow her up as soon as possible. And this last pick from Elevate is do or die here.
Yeah, Elevate, they absolutely need this pick. Now, the stakes aren't quite as high. Elevate would be able to get the clearest path to HRX if they win here, but even if they don't, they still have a chance. And wow, that's big time. Coming back to this same on-her pick that they struggled with earlier.
I don't like this on-her pick because Xing Chen from Trifecta is just going to mitigate so much of the in-hand damage for these double hunters. I would love to see more magical damage, but this is Elevate, this is their style, they're sticking to it.
I was going to say I don't like it at all, but for a different reason entirely, which is all Sino has to do, assuming he's the one playing Odin, of course, all he has to do is just get a cage, force the leaps out, and then Kiki and Aurora are just going to be such a nuisance. They aren't going to be able to do damage past them because they're all, like, the on-her specifically is all single target except the ult.
Well, we got the full picks and bans here. Let's go ahead and see. Totally PBM, who you got?
I think we're going to go into a three-way split. I got Trifecta.
I like Trifecta's draft.
Well, there you go. The Desk thinks Trifecta. Tom, Aggro, what do you think?
I think a lot of things. I think that it's a fantastic time to have an excellent game. I think I'm excited to cast with Aggro.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice day outside.
Really, it rained earlier. I don't think it's very nice outside right now.
I don't mind rain. You need some rain to let you appreciate the sunshine. And I think that's exactly where Trifecta is. Had a strugglesome fall split. Now here they are at Super Regionals trying to make their way into Worlds.
And this is the draft to do it with. I think that I love the way that Trifecta went through this picks and bans phase. First picking away that Hu Yi, and that Nox ban was absolutely critical to make sure that Trifecta didn't get hit with the ultimate Elevate combo, which is Cherries, Athena jungle, into Dardes as Nox support. This is a really smart picks and bans phase, and I like the way this is going for Trifecta already.
Same time, I like Cherry's Athena jungle into Death Panthers. I like this too. Here comes the sprint. Set up an ambush here. They're all chasing Cherio. 5-man strong. Trifecta with the Envy special. Looking for the Athena jungle. Can't catch up. And that's that.
Good pathing there from Cherio, getting out of danger just by running away from everybody, and now it's a sprint down on the side of Trifecta. Shouldn't be too impactful in the duo lane for Snoopy and Aurora. Should have pretty decent clear in this lane anyways. Not sure the sprint being down is going to affect the way that the clear goes.
Snoopy and Jermaine already just trading blows.
Nice body block.
Feeling good about it. And Aurora, Mike said it himself, Aurora's Kumbhakarna is really, really dope. He just doesn't get a chance to really pull it out that much.
It really is, and this is one of those guys that knows the ins and outs of this character, and it's a great pick into Double Hunter because now whenever they beads away your mesmerize or get interrupted out of the mez, their attack speed is going to be slowed whether or not they use purification beads. It's great into a double hunter combo.
There are very few characters in Smite that have attack speed slows. Cynosure and Aurora are playing 2 out of, I think, 3 of them. And Kiki is playing a character that will actually decrease the damage that the hunters are dealing. This is a fantastic draft against what Elevate have done. And this is what I'm talking about playing around it not by way of bans. You can't ban out all of the Guardians. You can't ban out all the hunters. You got to get creative, and this is the way to do it.
Now, Cherio's decision to go for Aegis instead of Phantom here, I don't know about that one. I mean, yes, he's probably going to be the primary target of these Odin cages, but Phantom to get everybody out of that Odin cage when and if they do get caught. Plus, upgraded Phantom is really, really insane. I mean, you get 15% damage mitigation for 5 seconds. I mean, that is old shell, basically, on Phantom. And that does so well against things like Zeusalt that even if you get out of the cage, you're still getting hit by it, it's going to be tickling you compared to what it normally would be doing. I really feel like Phantom would have been the better pickup here for Cherry.
Hopefully he gets it at level 12 here. I think that the Aegis early on might prove to be a little bit better than the Phantom, at least early on, because you're just focused about yourself. Later on might be a different story. Kiki getting poked out. Death Panther in the wings could be a problem. Cherio waiting on the taunt. There's the taunt because he knows his honor is right behind him. First blood. No numbers. Gets 1 number. And it's going to be Elevate on the board.
Just a little bit too ambitious there, going for the invade with 2 members right in front of you. I mean, it's 2 Guardians, yes, but Kiki was down below half HP, basically. As soon as that invade started, just a little bit too aggressive from Trifecta.
Patience there. Patience. The patience from Cherio to hold on to the taunt until Death Panther was in range to actually affect that. Cherio could have taunted a long time ago, got him in the shield wall, and then watched as they run away with a little bit of HP. But not going to be the case. Left side, a little bit of a dive here for Trifecta. Elevate being very aggressive. No surprise. It's the Bruise Brothers.
I don't think any duo lane has spent as much time on the enemy tower line as Jermaine and Dardes have so far this weekend. I mean, they got Ataraxia's tower before, 4 minutes or something like that in the duo lane. These guys, not many duo lanes like to stick together and just push it out consistently in the early game, but Elevate has. Now, Jermaine has not been able to get huge leads off of these pushes underneath the tower, and that's why a lot of teams aren't doing things like that right now in the meta. It's more impactful a lot of times to have your support rotating around, making sure that you can pick up fire elementals and oracles and mid camps, those neutral objectives that can really make a difference for your mid laner and jungler when it comes to their farm. But overall, I mean, if this is how Elevate get into their comfort zone in a game, and that's by pushing Snoopy underneath the tower, then you can't really fault them.
Exactly. That's really it. I have preached pretty much my entire commentary career that playing your game is more important than playing the quote-unquote meta. And as long as you're able to find that balance, I mean, if your game is Bacchus or a middle lane, we probably have to have a talk. But there's a happy medium between just like playing what everybody says you should play versus playing what you're comfortable with, whether that's God's selection or the way you play around the map. And Elevate's identified what is Elevate's game style. And I mean, they're extremely successful because of it.
I mean, look at what their set was against Obey, where they move away from their play style and get stomped 2 games in a row, basically.
And then they moved to the meta.
Exactly. They went more towards the meta. They got crushed. They come down into the group stages. They go back to their own style. And now they're going back to crushing others.
Nobody got crushed. They played Scylla miserably.
Well, I mean, game 5 they got crushed.
Sure. Did you choose that on purpose?
No, I didn't,
Crush.
but that was good.
I set you up there, man. You're supposed to say yes.
Yeah, I'm actually a genius.
I got you, man. You are so smart.
Oh, I know.
Oh, man. Such incredible stuff. Across the way, Trifecta, also a team that's identified really what makes them tick versus others. The Kumbhakarna stuff, not a pick that other teams are going to go for, and having players like Kiki and Aurora on your squad, you're going to play weird stuff. And one of the things I actually applaud Trifecta for is they started a little bit too far in their own backyard, and they've come closer to the meta. As I said, that happy medium is very important Too weird, too normal, never going to be good.
And this is the right balance in my mind in this draft. Now, with this draft, it's very important that Sino gets Whirlwind off to a good start. And the starts between the Zeus and the Anhur pretty much the exact same. No difference in their net worth or their XP quite yet. But Sino's got that blink cage available and not going to take long to bring down no numbers with that. And now Cherio is going to be a little bit harder because he can immediately start channeling that ultimate. But that should be the target, I think.
Death Panther going to provide a lot of damage. Nice jump on the read. Death Panther picks up Shore. 1-0-1 for the mid lane on her. And I'm very excited about this, Ryan. Because people, even on the desk, they said, look, the Anhur looked bad before. Why are they going back to it? I don't think the Anhur necessarily looked bad. I think Elevate looked bad, and Anhur was just a part of that.
I mean, that was impressive from Death Panther. I mean, you get to see how much trust this team has in one another. I mean, that is a taunt that Cherry is calling out because Death Panther starts ulting when he can't even see someone else through the wall to make sure that he can get there and follow up with the rest of the damage. That looked like a pretty comfortable Anhur player to me.
That's what I'm saying. That you don't pick Anhur as a character like the Uller that you don't just go, you know what, we'll give it a shot. If you pick the Medusa, maybe it's your first time. She's kind of, if you're an SPL level player, you can probably play Medusa and just make it work. Anhur's a dude that you got to practice. He's definitely scrimmed with this. And you know, like I said, I don't think we got the full serving of Anhur when they got stomped a couple of matches ago. This time around, we're getting a better look at it. 2 kills already, and Death Panther are part of both.
And that's kind of the pick that you think Trifecta wanted Death Panther to go back to, with banning the AMC, first picking the Hu Yi, banning away the Rom. I mean, those are characters that you want to put him on.
Well, the rings could isolate no numbers. Shore and Trifecta making their first aggressive maneuver on her. Gonna hurt out Whirlwind down to half HP.
That
no
heal.
numbers gets a huge heal and then turns around and deals it on back. Knock up on Kiki. Death Panther, Death Panther, Death Panther, Death Panther. 2 kills for the mid lane hunter. 2 kills for the solo RDO. Double dosage, double dealing, and Trifecta down 0-6.
Man, what a huge heal there for no numbers. That energy surge onto 3 different members of Trifecta all grouped. And that's the ideal scenario, right? It's the RTO that gets caged in. Whirlwind gets to drop the ultimate. But what does the rest of Elevate do?
Jermaine.
They look to try and force Whirlwind out and put good damage onto him.
Jermaine's got help with the wings
there?
Over the wind. Dardes is over there.
Oh.
But Snoopy, so damn dirty. Somebody clean up on aisle 7.
The reaches! He got all 3 in a row. Cherio's able to do it from a distance with the Athena jungle.
One more. There it is. Oh, we can't find it. Body blocks out of Aurora. There it isn't. And Whirlwind making the rotation. Oh, man, the 1-for-1. Dardes looking hot. Aurora going to get taunted into the double shield wall. Jermaine finishes what should have been over 30 seconds ago. Did Cherio just taunt him?
Oh, yeah. Cherio's letting him know. He's still taunting him.
Oh, he's feeling himself all the way to Lennox Square right now. Cherio out of his mind. His team makes the aggressive plays and crushes people. His team makes the counter play and crushes people. Then his team makes the chase down play and crushes people after Snoopy gets himself on the highlight reel.
Man, Snoopy getting out there would have been really big for Trifecta because they need something in some lane because every other lane is now basically lost after that 4-for-0 on the right-hand side. I mean, Whirlwind's down nearly 3 levels. He's down about 2.5. Kiki's down about 1.5 levels to no numbers. Cherio's up on Sinosure. So Snoopy getting that kill. I have no idea why Dardes was there, knowing that Snoopy's going to jump over that wall.
That's the play.
What on earth was he doing?
Waiting for Snoopy to jump over the wall.
But that's what you could expect for Elevate, specifically out of that duo lane. It ends up working out really, really well at first until Snoopy just puts Dardes on the highlight reel with a double bounce. Really good plays, and then Cherio using all 3 abilities just to get the reach procs to throw him at Snoopy from a distance. That was really well executed by Elevate.
See, that Cherio play, that's the type of stuff that goes on my highlight reel because that's the type of stuff, deep understanding of the character. Cherio's played this god 27,000 times. You can tell right there. Just Elevate. Here's the thing. This composition, a lot of times, I don't want to say cheese, but what happens is people have questioned if Elevate are winning off of their picks alone. Could you just sort of wait till 45 minutes and nobody can kill you because you're 30 tanks and a hunter, and you sort of win out? Elevate here are just playing better than Fecta.
They certainly are, and it's just a couple things going a little bit wrong for Trifecta. And really, when they go back and watch this game, whether they win or lose, they're going to watch that engagement on the right-hand side where No Numbers gets a huge heal, and they tried to burst him down, invest everything in the RTO, and it doesn't end up working out. And they're going to say, yeah, that was that was probably a mistake, and we shouldn't have done that in that manner, because look at how far ahead it's put Death Panther ahead in the mid lane specifically. As I mentioned, getting Herwind off to a great start is really important in this match for Trifecta, because that is where all of their damage is coming from until Snoopy can join the fights.
Jermaine in a bad spot. Stunned out by Snoopy, getting help from Cherio as he lands on the ground. Big old Goomba stomp. Jermaine jumps right into the Suns. Aurora on the chase. Beads is good, but Aurora right there in the uppercut. That'll do it. Jermaine falls down. Cherio stuck in the rain.
Ooh.
Not going to kill him just yet. Jump for jump. Sino goes right. Death Panda goes down. And everybody's safe after a hot blink, because No Numbers makes the rotation all the way from solo lane.
Kiki just a little bit behind, but that's what you expect from a Guardian like RTO. Is going to outclear the Xing Chen, especially with the lead that No Numbers has gotten already in this one. He's already picked up that Stone of Gaia, which has really just infested the solo lane build. It's been everywhere among these solo laners. Here, second item against the Xing Chen, where you're not really worried about taking too much damage and dying from him. So it's more about that sustain, that 400 HP, and the passive works well against the Xing Chen, meaning that whenever he uses that second ability, you're going to get a big burst of heal out of nowhere.
I'm glad you brought up itemization, because I think itemization is actually a big part of what has hurt Trifecta here, looking at the middle lane. Anher is going to be an early game character, early to mid game. He's going to want to fight you early and often because of the way his passive works, etc., etc. Zeus, the opposite. Zeus build path makes him even later. So when we saw Death Panther beating everybody up, Zeus was like, I've got 18 stacks on my Warlock Sash.
I guess, but Herwind, by the time that engagement happened on the right-hand side, Hurry already had a good amount of Warlock Sash stacks. He was already working towards his boots. They weren't completed quite yet, and the penetration from the pen boots certainly would have helped bring down No Numbers in that situation. But understanding that he's going to be the primary focus and trying to get through the early game, now it's going to take at least until Chin size until these hunters can really burst him.
Gold Fury gets bursted. Elevate. Just continuing, just rocket ship up north. What is this, 5,000 gold lead at 13 minutes?
And Dardez having a little party in the mid lane with the Dragon's Breath. And he looks like he's if you went by just his player cams, you would think he was having no fun at all.
Look at him.
Is he asleep?
He's like, yep.
Here we are again, about to qualify for Worlds. No, that's Aurora who's yawning.
I knew I knew you were going to do that, and I was hoping you. And now you're making my face. I wish you. Well, you're a great caster, Aggro. Now you're doing the totally.
Hey, thanks, Tom.
Elevate though, absolutely, just crushing it, and this is refreshing. I said I said this about Rival when they beat Dignitas. They beat Dignitas 3-0. On day number 2, day number 1 for the European matches. And they beat them in 3 separate ways. And I think that's very important to sort of show your portfolio. What can we do? We can beat from ahead, we can beat from behind, we can beat fast, we can beat slow. And Elevate, their portfolio has just been we wait until 35 minutes when you can't kill us and we crush it. Now Elevate are coming out of the gate swinging, playing similar composition but different play style. The same composition, but a different play style. And honestly, it's just fun to watch.
It's been impressive, and now Cherio uses his ultimate to come over and support Jermaine, making sure that he can get this tier 1 tower in the duo lane. Jermaine definitely has been the fastest tower killer for my money so far here at Super Regionals.
Jermaine with the hotness of the axe. And Snoopy thought he had the 1v1, but Cherio comes out of nowhere, brings Snoopy down to about quarter. There's Aurora as well, trying to zone players out. And Cherio making moves here. Cherio is lauded as one of the better underground players for a long time, and I don't think we really got to see it. This game, however, Cherio is showing us why everybody likes Cherio.
I'll tell you what, a lot of, jungler is one of those positions. We always talk about the personalities of different roles in Smite, where ADCs are just kind of there to shoot stuff and don't really think about the game. Supports just do nothing but think about the game. Junglers are the ego of the team, because so much of the game revolves around them. And junglers do not like to respect other junglers a lot of the time.
Fair.
I don't think anyone universally loves another jungler as much as every jungler loves Cherio.
Yes. I've noticed that as well. You talk to any of the pros, and they're just like, man, you know, Cherio, why doesn't he win? He's so good, and they're always impressed by him.
Yeah, it's fun. It's always the same role too that stands out to me. Because, you know, mid laners will look at junglers and be like, yeah, that guy destroys me on a regular basis. But the jungler's like, no, it's just because you suck.
Well, right now, Kiki not having a good day. Cherio misses the taunt, and the ultimate out of Kiki is really more defensive. Unfortunately for him, Elevate wasn't as close to him as he thought. Another Portal Demon, well, it once was there, and now it's in the pocket of Elevate, 100 gold per player, plus the old Portal, and Elevate just continuing to jettison everything out.
I like that Elevate's already starting to group up, because usually with a triple Guardian, double Hunter composition, you are holding on for dear life until 28 to 29 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you're saying, okay, now we get to play the game. Elevate's been playing for a while now, and they've had a lead. And when you can use those cheap Hunter items to kind of push yourself up and over what the other team can handle at this stage, your Guardians are still tanky because the other team doesn't have enough damage to punch through them quite yet. And your Hunters are doing more damage than anyone else is ready for, specifically in the mid lane for Death Panther, who's already nearly finished with an Odysseus bow as well. So this can really work out nicely for Elevate if they continue their group.
Dardes here surrounded by two, looking like he's
Bored.
totally fine.
Out of his mind.
Meanwhile, Kiki's here. Aurora's going to save with a nice little yawn. Kiki jumps away. The entirety of Elevate looking to dive this tier 1 tower. Nice pillar coming out from the on her. Kiki's still the target. There's damage as Aurora hits the uppercut. The taunt onto Kiki. Damage still alive. Death Banner going to hit about 70% of those spears, but 100% of the tier 1 down.
But where's the rest of Trifecta? I mean, that was an opportunity to get something else on the map. Push down that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Get the mid-tier 1. I mean, that was a big commit for
They
Elevate
lost
that
the
didn't get a lot.
speed. Oh, Trifecta. Lose the speed just one shot. And not able to, oh no, Aurora's going to be able to pick it up. Whoops.
He got it.
There you go.
Speed Kumba is #1 support ganker.
Speed Bakarna?
No. Just say Kumbhakarna with speed buff.
But I mean, I don't know. I like talking about speed back. You know?
I don't.
Well, speed back goes really fast. He's so back with speed. You know? And you can talk about like speed near, speed faster. Gold Fury being attacked by
thank
Elevate
you.
right here. Half HP already for the red squad. Aurora getting taunted in. Ton of damage. And locked in will be Sinosure as he drops the ring, trying to save his support, which he does so successfully. Cherio takes a little bit of damage, but nothing to be too concerned about, I think.
Cherry should have taunt up soon. There it is on the Hurwind, who holds both of his relics until
Oh,
the
bad-
very
bad
end,
pillar.
where he uses his purification beads a little bit late. Now, Hurry held on to his Lightning Storm ultimate, even through that cage from Sinosure, relying on Snoopy to do the majority of the AoE damage, and that did chase out the shell from Dardes, however, did not do enough to get the Phantom away from no numbers.
Same time, Trifecta get what could be their first win of the game. They stop the Gold Fury that time. They've got to do it again now, half HP. And Cherio, the only one that has used the ultimate on the side of Elevate. The Egyptian jungler grabs two with the taunt. Aurora stuck, has to get out, and he does so successfully. Kiki drops an ultimate of his own. There's the jump in from Dardes. There's the kill from Death Panther. Snoopy activates the Aegis, but it's all gone. Damage coming out of no numbers. Damage coming out of Dardes. Damage coming out from Cherio, and Death Panther turns and looks at the Gold Fury. He knows his job, and he's going right to the deposit.
Sino needs to be a little bit careful, but it's actually the rest that everyone's looking at, because no numbers in the middle of 3, and now the rest of Elevate has come up to support him.
He's totally fine. He's actually chasing Aurora under the tower. Can't find the kill, but Cherio gets Snoopy. The rest of Elevate not willing to chase all the way to the Phoenix. Well, Dardes might be on a different page. Literally chasing all the way to the Phoenix.
He's bored here too.
I love, Ryan, I love this team.
They're fun to watch.
Elevate has like quickly become one of my favorite teams to watch. Just the understanding of their own strategy, the idea of still maintaining enough normalcy to play regular Smite that we're not seeing completely bat nuts things happen. And then the guys are just really, really great.
Cherio with a quick blink to get away from Sinosure, just to make sure that he doesn't have to expend his ultimate in order to get out of danger from that cage. I loved, honestly, going back to that fight around the Gold Fury, that went pretty well for Trifecta, all things considering.
Yeah.
Kiki goes in there and gets beads from both Death Panther and Jermaine with his ultimate, but he ends up dying for it. Problem is, there's not a lot else that you have to purify away. I mean, yeah, we're talking Aurora's Mez so he doesn't set up for his ult or the root or something like that, but without the rest of the damage there, Jermaine and Death Panther aren't under immediate danger. Heroine's ultimate was phenomenal that fight, by the way, because otherwise Snoopy dies, Aurora dies earlier. There was a lot of trouble waiting for Snoopy in particular, but Heroine did such a good job of creating a zone to keep the hunters away from him.
Dardes gets surrounded by 5 players.
He
and he raises an eyebrow.
Did he actually?
He raised an eyebrow.
Wow. I think it's kind of like that's like a report that actually has to happen every time he does that.
Aurora gets taunted into minor damage, just barely taking a little blip there. On the other hand, no numbers, losing about 15%. Cherio also taking a little bit of a chunk. Here comes Sino Shore. Damage from Death Panther on the left-hand side. Ring dropped by Sino. And no numbers in a little bit of trouble, but not too big of a deal. Aurora, on the other hand, in a lot of trouble. Death Panther from all the way downtown finds the ultimate, puts him in the passive, and Jermaine puts him to sleep. Kiki on the left-hand side. Death Panther with another knockup, staying out of range perfectly.
Nice, Mad.
Meditation going to keep Kiki alive, but Death Panther has chased him out. The rest of Trifecta also out of the conversation. Elevate, slinking back in the jungle towards that portal demon.
That's 2 fights in a row now where no numbers has a cage happen either to him or around him.
He can do this. He can do this. Oh, he can absolutely do this, right? One
He's
more.
got it.
One more.
Ooh, that extra damage mitigation from the Furious Roar. Still not enough. That time, Cherio's going to get it. Meanwhile, the rest of Elevate, they get the Fire Giant. You just can't leave 2 hunters alone with a Fafnir and expect your objective to
Cherio
stand.
has the ultimate. If he gets in too much trouble, he's just going to ult out.
Still got Aegis. Wants to hold on to the ultimate, use the Aegis instead. A little bit more risky this way, but
how tricky.
heading back towards the rest of the team because no numbers is here to support him.
He's still taking the fight. He actually was baiting the Trifecta members because he's got teammates in the wings. Cherio, life ticking up because of that Fire Giant buff. And he's totally fine. Just taunting the opposition. Elevate. Just woof.
I'll tell you what, man.
What?
They have earned their spot.
Yes.
They certainly have. And they played Obey in a really great 5-game set. They played every single team here so far really, really well. Energy was able to figure them out a little bit, but that seemed like it may have even just been an off game for Death Panther on her, and the rest of the team didn't look quite as strong either. There's clearly still a lot of life in this team.
Where did Kiki's life bar just go? Just destroy. Death Panther ults him and he's got to get out of there. Brought down to 10%. Made Phoenix the target.
Look, when everyone's building Stone of Gaia, what do you want on your team? A bunch of chin size. That's exactly what Elevate has. 2 sets of chin size between Jermaine and Death Panther. And now, as soon as someone gets taunted, you're doing extra damage with each auto. It just keeps escalating and escalating between 2 different hunters that are hitting you. It's really, really hard to deal with, even for someone that should be as tanky as a Xingqian.
This is, I mean, they've earned their way to Worlds. They've earned their way to, I think, a lot of people's hearts. You know, this weekend was rough for Dignitas fans, and I'm happy Sino Shore tries to fight back into it, looking for the jump on 2. Now he locks 2 in, but I don't think he wants to do that. Jermaine just turn and burn. Jermaine and Death Panther, the 2 hunters, turn and collect. 1 will fall. Dardes, however, gets the answer back. Death Panther barely alive, but alive is all that matters. Kiki turns around, gets stunned out. Death Panther gets knocked up, still fighting with it. Heal, banana. And Death Panther gonna turn and still walk away clean. Dardes, number 2 in the game, number 2 in that engagement. And that's how a support plays.
Really,
you protect your teammates.
Really great peel there from Elevate. You got to be able to have multiple people peel for you if you've got 3 Guardians on the map at any given time. That's exactly what happens there for Elevate.
Man.
Now Cherio gets to back, heal up, buy some items, and ult back in.
This is just, oh man, this is just good Smite to watch. This
wow,
is
Cherry's
fun.
actually like playing Assault right now. He's got a health chalice and a mana chalice. That's like the Assault strat.
His sure. He's just out there trying to.
Because it gives you lots of regen, and you don't have to spend extra gold every time you die.
Why don't you just back?
You can't back. It's Assault, Tom.
You can't back an assault?
No, it's also all random.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you gotta. There's a whole different meta for the Assault.
I don't believe you.
Let's play Assault tonight.
I don't believe in Assault. Right now, 25 minutes on the clock. Elevate with 5 times the amount of kills as Trifecta has. 15-3. And the gold, well, it's almost 20K.
And good luck getting back into this as Trifecta, because they have no damage that can really compete with what Elevate are pumping out. I mean, Herwin was forced to go into a Spirits row because of how much CC Elevate has. He's not going to be able to put out enough damage to one-shot one of these tanks. And that's what you have to do against this composition. You have to kill a tank first, because the Hunters are never putting themselves in a position where they can die before a tank will. So you need some tank killers on your roster. Zeus, not awful at that, but not great either. Hu Yi is great at that, but Snoopy hasn't been in a position to do it, really.
Sound Shore getting aggressive, and he's going to get punished for it. Jumping all the way out. Right side Phoenix the target. Nice pancake flip coming out from Kiki. Grabbing 3 separate players, and now one with the ultimate, but Dardas collects his 3rd as he puts Snoopy back in the doghouse. 3 players from Elevate relatively low. Aurora in the back end. That's not the guy you want behind enemy lines. And Death Panther claims number 5. 5.
Ooh. Hurry
6.
puts out good damage right before he falls. Death Panther actually able to survive there. I don't know if Hurry got his detonate off, but the Titan might just fall here to the minions.
Yeah, troublesome spot as Cherio takes down Kiki. Only 1 player remains. It's Shore. Can the Lonely Odin protect the Titan?
I don't think so. I mean, 4 members here. 3 are pretty healthy still. It's Shore with Trifecta's hopes on the line, but Elevate looks like they might be going to Worlds.
Death Panther's playing it safe. No, just kidding. Death Panther's going nuts. 7-0-10.